So I would say that my own journey has been very tumultuous. So it's been a bit of a struggle, I guess. But writing, and I think any kind of creative pursuit, it's never going to be easy. I definitely just want to like shake things up and make people question like why things function in society in the way that they do. And I think I've always been really inquisitive, but I think it's important to constantly question why things function the way they do, and that maybe there's a better way. Yeah, like who has the power and why. The book I'm working on now is a collection of stories that focuses a lot on labor and power dynamics. I have a lot of experience in restaurants and bars. There's actually a lot of writing that revolves around that and various workplaces. I'm definitely like questioning gender roles and just conventionality, because I feel like I'm a person that doesn't fit in to the standards of society all the time, and I think that it's important to raise awareness that like it's not kind of a one-size-fits-all thing. I think that it's important to focus on diversity in writing, and that's something that I'm seeing a lot more of, which I think is really good. Well, reading is also a really important part of writing, I would say. So these are a few things that I've picked up that have definitely played into my writing in one way or another, but like this is a little comic that's called Abolish Work, and it's literally about like restaurants. It says abolish restaurants plus work, community, politics, and war. And it kind of goes through the like day-to-day issues involved in working in restaurant work, which really examines it from like a political standpoint. I'm really interested in alternative ways of living and of organizing in society, I think. So this definitely plays on that. It's Le Plongeur by Stéphane Laroux. The story of a guy who's a gambling addict, and then he gets a job as a dishwasher and really explores kind of the underbelly of the Montreal restaurant scene. And I think he does like an amazing job so far in the descriptions and the relationships between people. If you've worked in restaurants, I think it will really hit home. And if you haven't worked in restaurants, like a lot of people don't really know what goes on behind the scenes. Like, there's a lot that goes into like that calm dining experience that you have. It's Bad Behavior by Mary Gateskill. She writes like in these really grotesque and like these really grotesque characters, especially women. And I thought that was just fascinating because you always see these like, at least when I was studying in school, I was reading a lot of like British literature, and it's all about virtue and honor, and like that's just not realistic. I think it's important to like kind of get away from these ideas of traditional femininity and like what women are and what women are capable of, because it's just not relevant anymore. Now I'm at a point where I do support myself, mostly based on what I write. Mostly what I write for money is marketing, it's copywriting, a lot of puns. I think there's a common misconception that young writers have that you need to make all your money from your creative writing and your creative pursuits, otherwise you're not a real writer. I'm here to tell you that nobody does that. Everybody else has a day job. And if they say they don't have a day job, they're probably lying to you. Let go of these ideas of where you're supposed to be and how this journey is supposed to go for you, because it will not go that way. As much as you can just be adaptable to the situation that presents itself, that's going to serve you the most. My last bar job I got fired from, and I was living on EI, and I was like pretty depressed. I went for tacos with one of my friends. He's kind of this like copywriting whiz, and I was like, you know, I'd love to do what you do. And a couple weeks later, he's like, hey, I have this contact at this company and like they're looking for somebody. I don't have really like the time to deal with them, but if you're interested, like you should get in touch with them. So I did, and now they're my main client. I recently read an article that said that the average writer in Canada makes $9,000 a year. It's just really, really hard to make money from this. I'm aware of that, and I wake up every day and I choose this life, you know what I mean? I choose to do these things because it's worth it to me, and I think that there's greater things to pursue in life than money. I still have to constantly kind of hustle and push myself every day to find new clients, and that's just like the nature of the beast. But at the same time, like I wake up in the morning and I decide how I spend my day, and to me that's like really the best freedom. So